What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade. Basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about Freddie VanVleet again as he was rumored to go to the Knicks. Who needed a player like Fred VanVleet? He can stay with the Raptors, but they're going to pay so much money to keep him as he is worth a lot. And they already paying Lowry, they already paying Siakam. Can they really afford to commit a heavy amount of money to Fred VanVleet, even though he is essential to the team play style and identity, and he is a champion with this coach and this team, and he earned his level of respect around the league with this team. But you gotta do what's best for you and your family, and it is other teams that will be interested. And one of the biggest teams that I always hear people talk about is the Phoenix Suns, a team that's looking for another piece that can make them a serious contender to make the playoffs perennially in the NBA, and that's something that we want to see. They win 8-0 in the bubble. I didn't blow it out of proportion. I didn't get too happy. I didn't think it was overrated, but you got to do it again. And that's going to be the problem for the Phoenix Suns. Health comes into play, trades come into play, free agency comes into play, and teams can get better throughout the season. And they have to combat all these teams and play in the Western Conference and beat these teams. And they will have to do it in a tough and brutal West. Even though they came close last year, it was teams that was better than them that didn't even make it because of injuries to their main stars. And it's teams that will normally be better than them, but they was worse because of injuries too. And now the Suns find themselves in a position where it's a lot of hype around them. They like what Devin Booker did. DeAndre Ayton looked improved defensively, and he's showing passing ability and more moves. You have rotation players that fit this team, and Ricky Rubio helped get these guys set up in easy baskets. And now they're saying we want to get rid of Rubio and bring in somebody like Van Fleet, a guy that can knock down shots, whether it's from the perimeter or from the 3-point line, can play in the pick and roll with guys like Aiden in the center position, Baines, who can possibly be back on this team, and Kaminsky, a guy that can space the floor, but also Booker, being able to have a guy that can create shots not only for himself, but for Devin Booker while still putting pressure on the defense because of his shot making ability. And that's what Fred VanVleet brings. And not only that, he does bring defense. He has been a great team defender, a great help defender. And even though he's not a great individual defender because he is small and he's not the most athletic guy, he's feisty. And you need the energy and the effort to keep you in games and to get these guys. You got Chris Paul, you got Stephen Curry, and those type of guys in the West that you have to fight and compete against. And you want to hold your own, but you also can't get torched, especially in the playoffs where this team is trying to get. And if they want to do damage in the playoffs, they're going to have to upgrade some of these players on the roster or hit it big in the draft because it's going to be hard for them to get a superstar free agent as there's none really available this year outside of Giannis, who's going to be available next year, but they can trade for him, but they don't really have the assets that the Bucks would probably be looking for unless they give up one of their stars, which will accelerate it, but at the same time, that might help them get over the hump. And there's not really too many guys that can really make this team a championship contender out there outside of the Giannis and the guys like AD, which we don't think they're going to be leaving. If they do, I don't think they'd be going to the Suns anyway. But that's what they need. They need a guy that can transform this team. Devin Booker has had a hell of a time in this Suns, been there, the good, the bad, and even though it's getting brighter, it's another test and another war for them next season. Aiden seems like a solid pick. He's a guy that looks like he can be a 20 and 10 bucket, and he looks like he can actually possibly anchor a defense, and he actually is a great rebounder. But Mikal Bridges has been a little disappointed. He hasn't been a guy that has turned into more than just a 3 and D guy, which is unfortunate because they needed him to be more because they wanted him, but also they need more scoring. This team can score. This team is hard to guard, but they need guys that can break down defense and get other guys easy opportunities and give them more of a dynamic offensively so they're not as predictable, but also tougher to cover when you're going against better offensive teams, which will be the top 8 teams in the West because you'll be competing against the best teams in the playoffs. And now you got to find a way to be better. And Fred VanVleet will fix a lot of their problems, but he will get them into a playoff spot. I think he would if he gets picked up by them, but they will commit so much money to Fred VanVleet and Devin Booker, and Aiden eventually will have to be signed. And you will look at a team that doesn't look like a team that can actually win the title if those guys don't take superstar leaps. They already show that they're one of the best at their position, but they got to show that they're one of the best players in the league. And Devin Booker has gotten better, has grown throughout his whole NBA career, and he has done it in Phoenix. And Aiden has improved, in my personal opinion, every single season so far. But they still don't have that dominant guy that can just do whatever he wants to help them. And if Mikal Bridges is not going to be that guy, plus you don't have that guy in this draft right now, where are they going to be able to get one of those players if they're not bad enough to get a lottery top 5, top 10 pick that can change them? Plus, you have to drop because they're so good right now and they're supposed to be better next season. How are they going to get a top 3 pick? How are they going to get the number 1 pick when the odds are extremely against them if they win and improve every year like they have done? And if that's the case, this team going to be stuck in a situation where they can be the ninth or 10th best team in the West, but they can also be the 7th or 8th, which means they're not going to be competing for a title. They'll be just competing as a team that want to prove something. But those teams only get so far. And if the best you can be is a first round exit or just getting to the second round is the best you can do, you failed as an organization. I know you want to get guys in the seats. I know you want to get the fans cheering and supporting your team. But if that's the best you can do, you're going to lose Booker. You're going to lose Aiden because they're going to fill out their contracts. They're going to get their resigns because they had the restrictedness, and then they're going to go to a team that can help them actually win titles. And that's what they got to figure out how they're going to get this done in Phoenix because VanVleet is amazing. He is one of the best guards, and he probably is the best guard in his free agency that's actually pick upable. But at the same time, you're not going to go from playoff team to championship team with an acquisition of Fred VanVleet unless, like I said, those two guys take an enormous leap next season. And they're hungry, they want it, and they feel that they can compete and beat anybody. But you also want to be able to win the ship. And I don't see any moves right now that can help them do that. And that's the sad part. You know, they can get better, they can grow, and they can add another piece. But it's about winning ships. And that's something that I don't see Phoenix doing right now as currently constructed. And I think that they can go the Daryl Morey route when you just build up assets like him and Danny Ainge did and go from a team that's competitive and then flip them into another star or flip them up into a draft where you can move up and get that star and put that piece with Aiden and Booker. But that's probably the best they can do. If they can't really convince somebody to come or have that guy that will fit genuinely into this team is just going to be stuck in no man's land. And it's unfortunate, but it's the God honest truth. I know the Phoenix Suns don't want to hear it. I know they feel like they're going to make it next year, but being a team that just makes it to the playoffs and does nothing is not the situation you want to be when you have two of these guys that are some of the best players at their position. It's just unfortunate that that's what it looks like until they can find a way to swing the momentum up and get that guy that can really help take this team to a championship level. And the thing about it is, that's what they're gonna have to do. And to me, when I look at a lot of the young guys on this team, I like them. I like what they're about. The Johnsons, the Bridges, and all the guys on this team. I like what they can do. I just don't see this team being a legitimate, scary team in the West unless it's another guy out there that they can eventually get, which we don't see right now. And even if they do, they might as well hoard some assets probably 1 or 2 years from now, not this season, but next season or the other one, because they still are young. Aiden and Booker are still young, and they still getting better every year. Maybe you pick up some pieces, and maybe you try to take some drafting stashes and try to get your cap space ready for a player, or maybe you just hoard a bunch of assets like we done seen Daryl Morey, and we just seen it with Sam Presti and even Danny Ainge, and try to make that move for the superstar, and that maybe take you to the next level. VanVleet, great player, deserves to be paid. Definitely a starter in this league. Will take this team to another level. But the goal is to win a title. And when you're rebuilding, you're putting the pieces in the foundation together slowly to get to that goal. And I don't see that goal in sight right now for the Suns. But they're doing some things right. And the unfortunate part, I heard a rumor that Devin Booker wants out. That will take them all the way back to one of the worst teams in the league, which is unfortunate because they're almost there as being one of the more respectable and feisty teams. But they got some decisions to make. They got some gambles to take, and they can't be afraid to lose it all. That's part of the NBA. And we've seen teams like Toronto gather the assets and flip it for Kawhi Leonard and win the title. That's what Phoenix is going to have to do. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be slow. It's going to be frustrating, but that's been the last 7 years for this organization. And they're not that far from it. They just have to be patient. They have to grind. They have to be ready for the opportunity to come and seize it when it does. And we done seen teams do it before, and that's the situation that they find themselves in now. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. Thanks for everybody already liked on Facebook. If you haven't, please do it. Also, check out my older videos. I have over 1,000, almost 2,000 videos on my channel, and I upload every day. So if you like topics of breakdowns of players, legends, rookies, and even summer league coverage, draft coverage, free agency, trade deadline, playoff prediction, top 10 lists, and also season previews, this is the channel for you. I promise you. And if you don't believe me, watch my older videos. And if you like that and you like these that are continuing to come out every day, subscribe and become part of the family. Also, like the video and also share it. That allows me to reach more people. The more people that like it, the more people that share it, the more people that get to see it, and the more this channel can grow. That's a small thing I ask you people to do. If you love and support the channel in your own way, you can also support it with merchandise. I have a spread shirt that is down in the description in the comment section below. You can click the link, it'll send you. You can also buy merchandise just like this and other shirts on my Facebook page. I have them on display. You can check those out. You can message me and I can get them shipped out to you. Other than that, I'll be here with another video tomorrow. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going, and let me know what you guys think about the Phoenix Suns. Should they trade Devin Booker? Should they keep him at all costs? Can Devin Booker and Ayton win them a title? Can that be a duo that's championship? Can they even get even more better to become superstars at their position? Devin Booker is an all-star. DeAndre Ayton is one of the better players in the league, but they're not elite just yet. And maybe they can reach that goal together, or maybe they have to get rid of one of them to get the pieces that they need to get over the hump and get to that next level as being a contender in the entire NBA, not just the Western Conference. Hopefully they get you guys something special going on in Phoenix, and hopefully y'all can win the title. I know the wait has been forever, but we'll see if y'all can get there. Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis. I'm going. Enjoy your day.